Welcome back, everybody. In this video, our focus is going to be lesson number 51. And in lesson number 51, we are, for the first time, playing all of our fingers together at once in one single motion. The first thing I need to go over is when you are applying this technique, it's very important that you do not tense up your right hand as you play the chords. A lot of times I'll see students, they'll play, for example, if it were this lesson, they would play this lesson and their hand would get very stiff. And then they would do this. What's the next chord? And their whole, I could see it, their whole arm, their elbow, their shoulder kind of lifts up sometimes. And then the fingers, you can see, they don't move much. They're stuck like this. It's really important that you relax when you play this particular lesson because it's really easy to just tense up. I'm not sure why, but when you use this technique, it becomes very, your body becomes very susceptible to, or at least your arm and your shoulder become very susceptible to tensing up. So that's the first thing I wanted to mention. Second thing, when you play these chords, you are going to be playing them. Try and keep each voice balanced with the other. In other words, try not to make the thumb louder than the fingers, or try not to make the fingers louder than the thumb. It's all about balance. If your fingernails are getting caught, you may need to revisit how you're filing your nails. That might happen in this lesson. But other than that, those are the big things. When you play this lesson, try and make sure that you're keeping all of the notes connected to each other. In other words, play legato. What I don't want is this. You see how each chord is separated from the next? You want to do your very best to keep each chord connected to the next. The reason this is happening, if it is, it's because your fingers and your thumb are preparing onto the string before you actually play the string. So in slow motion, you're doing this. Fingers are on the string now, and then there's this moment of nothing. And then you play the strings again, and then you're planting, moment of nothing. You want to avoid preparing the fingers onto the string. In other words, you need to make sure that you start your attack. The motion of attack needs to be up in the air, not on the string. Now, what's going to happen more times than not is you're going to miss the strings. Okay? It just takes practice. If you're consistently missing strings, then yes, I would like you to go back, prepare the strings each time so you get a feel for where your fingers should be so that you become more accurate with your fingers. It's as simple as that. See, right now I'm preparing. No biggie. But eventually, if you want to play this legato, and this is what I want you to do, you're going to have to make sure that you don't prepare. You don't even have to practice this with the chord down. You just do this. Making sure that you're not preparing. Your fingers are starting the motion, like I said, in the air. And of course, making sure that your voices are balanced, so you don't get this. Let's see. Or like if your nails get caught, let's see if I can emulate it. They start to do this. See that? So start by playing just not too loud, just nice and gentle. Once you've gained control of that, because that's going to be the easiest way to gain control. You don't have to play very loud. You have more control over your hand that way. As you get louder, it becomes more difficult to keep control. So start at a softer dynamic and eventually build, making sure that as you build, you don't tense up. And eventually, you can play loud and legato. Okay? So lesson 51 on my count would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop. So that would be what it sounds like. Measure 5 and measure 6. When you get to measure 6 and you play that 4th string open, you're gonna need to stop the 5th string from ringing because you're playing in the bass the 5th string in the previous measure. Let me show you. See, both of those bass notes are ringing if I'm not stopping that 5th string. Now that sounds a lot more clean. All right. When you get to measure, or still on measure 6, I would like you to play this chord. Again, this chord is called D minor. I would like you to use your 2nd finger for the A, your 4th finger for D, and then your 1st finger for F. Get into the habit of using your 4th finger for this chord, D minor. All right. If you want to add some crescendos, you can add some crescendos. Stuff like that. Right? So on and so forth. But have fun with it. Just make sure that you are policing yourself very strictly. I'm not sure if that's the best way to say it, but it's okay to be a little hard on yourself if you're trying to master the things I'm trying to teach, the things that I'm teaching you. Just don't overdo it. Within reason is what I'm trying to say. Okay? These notes, by the way, are going to be the notes you play in measure or in lesson. These chords are the notes, are the chords you're going to be playing in measure in lesson 52. Okay, so with that being said, I'll see all of you in lesson 52.